Hey everybody, soybean farmer. It's time to spray some beans. I'm excited about using this thing. What I need to spray is that field and the field over there in front of the house. Both of those were planted on April the 30th. Yeah. And I've lost track of the date. Today's June the 4th. Yeah, yesterday was the 3rd, okay. Today's June the 4th. I did not use a pre-emergent on this, so I've got some weed pressure in there. It's not horrible yet, but it's there. So it's time to get this thing set up, calibrated, figured out, read some more instructions and all that good stuff. This one. And hey, they're still 20.5 inches, just like they were the day I measured them when I brought this thing home. All right, with 20.5 inches, we need to go look at a chart and the distance between the nozzles. I got a 20-inch and then I jumped to 22 inches. I had 20.5 inches, so they're telling me my distance measurement needs to be based on 204 feet. I need to go do this. There's a survey stake for the property line that I can start to pull this 100-foot tape off of. I need a total distance of 204 feet. So I'm thinking, get out 100 foot, drive that in the ground so I can hook the tape to it to pull the second 100 feet. Box is a high pro pump, roller pump, model number 7700C. And a little picture here what it looks like. This pump's a lot bigger than the pump I've been using. The pump I've been using would never move enough water to deal with the number of nozzles and the length of this boom. See, last thing we did was get the measurement done. Had some aggravation with this thing. I was missing the key. There's a square stock key that goes down in there. I don't know whether you can see it or not. And I was missing it. So I dug around in my junk pile and I found one that would fit. And I had to do a little bit of filing work with one of these little tiny files, but it's tight. It's in there like it's supposed to be. And I think I'm going to like this, but I think I'm going to go back and buy them in metal. These are plastic. And you know, if I get a year out of them before they break, that'll be good. Well, I got it on there. This turned out to be from here to here a lot closer than I thought. And for the tank to be able to go up and down, the only thing I could come up with was to put a loop in that hose like that so it didn't crimp. Well, it is what it is. We'll go out here and drive now and get our time measurement for that distance. Fimco. I don't think I'll ever buy anything else from these people. I've had just about every one of those right there leaking. And I've had to tighten every one of them. This mess back here, that one was pure turning. Every one of those was leaking. I finally got all of these hose clamps tight to where all the hose clamp leakage is resolved, and I still had a drip of water coming out. And this T-valve, I was all excited about it. There's a seal right here. It's got the bolts here, 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 all the way around it. It's leaking out of the bottom down there at the seam. So I can't run it like that. Not going to run it like that. Brand new piece of equipment. I'm going to go get on the telephone with Agri-Supply and see what the avenue is going to be, how we're going to work this out, and go figure it out. I don't think you should have to have that many tools out. Tightened up a couple of hose clamps to the pump. No, that sprayer, whoever put that sprayer together did it on Friday afternoon, and their mind was on what they were going to do Friday night, because it sure wasn't on putting this sprayer together. Well, I went in the house and had a real nice phone conversation. The man that answered the phone at Agri-Supply that I got to talk to was named Shane. And a big shout out for Shane. Took real good care of me. He started off the conversation real pleasant, asked what he could do for me, and I explained I had purchased a Fimco sprayer, gave him the model number, and I went straight to the T-valve issue and told him that it was leaking. I asked him if he'd be willing to replace that component of the sprayer, and he said he would be glad to. I asked him if I could run up there and get that component and come home and change it out and be able to swap hoses, you know, direct swap, so that I wouldn't have a bunch of hoses hanging there trying to remember where they went. And he said it would be more than fine. So I drove it's about 26 miles from the farm here up to Agri-Supply, and they treated me like I owned the place. So I tell you what, if you ain't shopping at Agri-Supply, you really ought to be. I left there no expense to me other than my time and the gas, and got back here, and they gave me this part right here, which is this fancy T-valve. But I want to make sure these are tight, and they're not. Every one of them is loose. Look at that. And you know that if I'm just holding that and doing that, dang nabbit. Well, maybe. Alright, what I'm thinking is, I found these things loose on the one I said was defective. And when I put pressure on it, because I had it up to 100 psi, because this thing's supposed to be good to 300 psi. I don't know where it says it on the box or not, but anyhow, in the owner's manual for the sprayer, it said good to 300 psi. I don't see it anywhere. There it is. Boom. Operating pressure 300 psi. 0 to 300. Okay. I didn't take it up much past 100 psi when it started leaking out of here, and I found these bolts loose, just like I'm finding right now. Now look how I'm holding that ratchet, and I'm turning it. Let's see if I can move that out of the way. Let's see, be like that. Yeah, that one's very loose. Maybe getting these things tight before I put pressure on it will keep me from blowing the seal out of it. Because I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be tighter than that. Because I ain't even out at the end of the ratchet. Okay, that's getting tight now. Yep. 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 Let's see, that one's right. Move that up there. It's right there. Yep. I guess somebody's air tool got out of adjustment at the factory. But you know, folks, if you're holding a ratchet right there and you're holding that, you don't even have it in a vise, you're not going to over tighten the thing. And they were that loose, you saw me turn them. Glad I checked it before I put it on there and blew the seal out of it. Well, I got it all back together now, and it's not leaking anywhere except the spray nozzles, which is what you want. So it's been a fun day with this thing. I should have got on this 2 weeks ago and found all this aggravation and had that good time then, but I didn't. And what I need is about 50 gallons in here, so let it fill a little bit more. My travel time on the 204 feet, run 4th gear with the engine RPM up high enough to give me the 540 off that PTO back there, which makes everything work good. But it turned out to be 40 seconds. So I took this measuring beaker that you see sitting there, and I'm right in between 24 and 25 ounces, which is where I want to be. Took a couple of adjustments. Engine RPM is set, so the adjustment is in that pressure regulator over there, but I've got it locked down now. And I collected here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and out there, and it's equal. I've never seen one that equal. My old sprayer was nowhere near that equal. I liked it. I guess it's because all the tips are new, and because this boom is in 3 sections. There's a center section with its own feed, and then there's a feed to that section and a feed to that section. I do need to come up with something to keep that hose up there. Might try some cable ties or something, see how that works out. But I've got it. I'm ready to spray. Now here's the gamble. It's too late today for this Liberty stuff. This Liberty stuff likes to be sprayed in the middle of the day. It doesn't like late evening or early morning. It wants full sun. I've still got some sun out there, but it's too late to risk it, too late to gamble it. So I'm ready to go tomorrow. Chances of rain, well, if I can get that 2-acre piece sprayed, the sun comes up, that's due east, sun comes up, would be on that field. There's no trees on the other side to shade it except for that little bunch. And they're calling for rain around lunchtime. This stuff needs 2 hours to be rainproof. So I'll probably gamble it and try to get that 2-acre piece sprayed. It's pretty bad with lamb's quarter and morning glory coming up in it, and I'd like to get it knocked out small. This field's not nearly as bad. I mean, it's got its typical spot over there where the water hemp created a big problem, but because of all this cool weather, that water hemp has not done much. But there's a little grass over there. Grass don't scare me because I'm adding in a grass killer product this year since Liberty don't work too much on grass. But this field for the most part looks like that. It's fairly clean. And the beans, they can get that tall, twice that tall, before I get annoyed about running over them. But the way my tractor tires work out, it don't mess them up too bad. Oh well, I need to put the truck back under shelter. Got me a new flag. Now I can tell which way the wind's blowing. Yeah, that thing was $10 up at Agri-Supply. Directional wind device. That little bit of wind, of course, it's laid off. It was blowing a whole lot more earlier today. And well, that tree over there, that Bradford pear tree, and that tree over there has got, some wind dancing through it. You don't want wind. It'll blow you get drift, blow your spray off target. And with this spray, Liberty, you want to do it in the middle of the day with full sun. Not like glyphosate where you'd go out there in the morning or in the evening and get the best effect with that, so you'd minimize your evaporation. But I think I let my tank get too full. Yeah, I did. Oh well, I'll spray some out. Everybody, thank you very much for watching my videos. We would have had a video of spraying today, but Fimco doesn't really build their sprayers with any kind of quality assurance. Yeah, Fimco, I'm talking to you. Don't buy these things. Well, if you buy it, just take it home and put it all back together. Some things say some assembly required. You're going to want to go completely over a Fimco product and tighten every nut and bolt on it. I mean, if you remember when I brought this thing home, one of these little clamps here fell off, and there were several more of them that were loose. Yeah, that word right there, don't buy their stuff. Or, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Don't buy their stuff. Anyhow, thanks for watching my videos. Sorry for the little rant right there, but that really disgusted me. That worked out like that. I swear, sometimes things are too easy and sometimes they're not. This was one of those, had to fight for it, but I won. I got it. Bye, y'all.